What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet. Hi, remember me? And welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. Have you ever noticed that whenever I take these extended breaks from recording, that I always come back to Old Ridge? Old Ridge, it's home. It's the most comfortable place in the world for me, and it's the place that I like the best. So, BP, where the hell have you been? Well, if you guys know me, if you hang out with me on Discord, if you follow me on a Facebook page, you know, and you know what? Instead of just yakking, why don't you do something while you're yakking, BP? You know that I've had some health issues. Gee, BP, health issues, not you. Oh, imagine that, huh? Yeah, I have an abscess on my jaw, which is massively painful. Basically what an abscess is, big sort of infected, sort of inflamed, swelled up area that, you know, pushes against my jaw, pushes against my cheek, makes it hugely painful to talk for more than a minute at a time or anything like that. So I just haven't been. I haven't been talking. I haven't been, you know, recording. I've been playing a lot of games. You guys, if you guys are friends with me on Steam, you probably see my name pop up, you know, in various games, American Truck Simulator and Farm Sim 17 and Farm Sim 15 and everything else. And that's mostly because sitting down and playing a game that requires a fair amount of focus takes the focus off the pain in my mouth. I've been taking, you know, just buckets of ibuprofen and aspirin and shooting my mouth full of this stuff called clove oil, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's oil made from cloves. It's incredibly strong. It definitely kills the pain, but it also basically kills the tissue in your mouth, which, you know, isn't fantastic. But you know what? When you are me and you don't have a lot of money for doctors and, you know, and things like that, dentists and all that sort of stuff, you sort of do what you have to do, and that, you know, that makes the pain manageable to the point where I can breathe and open my eyes, because there are some days where it hurts so bad when I can't breathe, I can't open my eyes, are watering, you know what I mean? All I can do is lay my, you know, my head on the couch with a mouthful of, you know, antibiotic cream and, you know, a belly full of ibuprofen and a mouthful of clove oil, and just sit there and, you know, sort of rock back and forth and moan softly. There's a fairly attractive image, huh? But last night, it's funny how pain works sometimes. Last night, it hurt so bad. It hurt worse than it's hurt, you know, ever since I've had this problem. And then, I probably overdosed on ibuprofen and clove oil and antibiotic cream and everything. Finally got a couple hours sleep, which is the most sleep I've gotten, you know, consecutively in many, many nights. I woke up this morning, and it wasn't bad. And I said, you know what, BP? It's time to make a video. Why was it time to make a video? Well, two reasons. One is because, you know, I haven't made a video in 3 weeks. A lot of that is due to my mouth. A lot of it is due to just a general lack of motivation to make videos. And I'll tell you what is the greatest motivator to get me back to making videos is that I look over at my computer and I realize, hey, BP, you didn't buy that computer. Your subscribers bought you that computer. Your friends bought you that computer. This awesome community bought you that computer so that you could make videos. So make some goddamn videos. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Now, I've said this 1,000 times. I don't ever feel pressured. I don't ever feel like I'm forced to make a video. You know what I mean? I make videos when I want to. If I don't feel like it, I don't do it, because I don't want to mail them in, you know? And to be honest, if I had tried to make a video over the last couple of weeks that I've been going through this sort of, you know, abscess, I also have a crack in my jaw that needs to be repaired at some point, but, you know, again, if you have money, blah, 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 whatever. But if I'd have tried to make a video, it would have been a minute of me talking and then 20 minutes of me moaning in pain, a lot of cuts, a lot of edits, and a lot of silliness, and I just didn't want to subject you guys to that, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to subject myself to it. It wasn't fair to you, it wasn't fair to me. But today I feel pretty good, so, you know, let's make a video, right? And of course, because, you know, Old Ridge is where I feel most comfortable, that's where I was going to make a video. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys, you know, the members of the Monkey Show especially, but to all you guys who have, you know, sent me messages and, you know, hit me up on Discord and sent me Steam stuff and, you know, said, hey, BP, we hope you feel better, man. We miss you. You know, we can't wait to have you back. That means a lot to me, and that's really pushed me to make myself get better. There was a couple of days where the pain was manageable enough where I probably could have sat down and maybe done a ninja stream, you know, just something quick, you know, unannounced or whatever, or made a video. But I wanted to get better enough that I could do it and not make one video and then not make another one for a month because I screwed up my mouth again. So, you know, you guys have been just amazing. I say this all the time. I mean it every time I say it. You guys are fantastic. You know, none of this happens without you. BPG doesn't exist without you. There's no Monkey Show, obviously, without you. You know, and I want to make the best videos for you guys that I can. It's that simple. And I'll never mail them in, and I'll never make a video where it's, you know, just me being in pain the entire time. Because who the hell wants to hear that? Everybody's got their own problems, right? As far as the motivational aspect of making videos goes, I don't know. You know, again, it's no secret that I'm bipolar, right? Bipolar prophet. I don't know if it's getting worse as I get older. It's sort of to the point now where I'm not even sure it's bipolar anymore, because I don't ever get that, like, I don't get the big sort of bounce off the walls for a month, you know, have plenty of energy, never sleep and all that sort of deal anyway. But it's just, and it's not that I'm depressed, because I don't feel bad. I just don't, I don't know, I sit down and I'm like, meh. You know, I make that noise, meh. Which is the worst noise in the world when you're a YouTube creator, right? Meh. And I know myself well enough to know, and I've said this a bunch of times too, that if it gets like that and I don't force myself to do it, I'll never do it again. So, you know, as soon as my mouth started to feel better, I was like, you know what? You better sit your big ass down and make a video. Very good. A couple of things I want to talk about. You know, Old Ridge is Old Ridge, you know what I mean? Not a lot has gone on because I haven't advanced the story. Now, Mike has had his, you know, sort of personal issues, you know, and his health issues, and so he hasn't advanced the story either. So we're both sort of catching up now, you know, with the Old Ridge story. But don't worry, it's not going anywhere. You know, Old Ridge isn't going anywhere. I'll be playing Old Ridge 5 years from now. You know, I can almost guarantee it. You know, it's still my favorite place to be. So, you know, story or not story, you're always going to see farming on Old Ridge, regardless. But, you know, a couple of things have happened. I bought 2 new fields, and I do have some story to go with that. The reason I bought these 2 fields is because, A, I needed grass. I just don't have enough grass. You can see we're up to 351 milking cows now, on our way to an ultimate number of 500. I have done a little bit of calculation, done a fair bit of research, as I like to do, and realized that for the amount of land that I have, 500 is about the maximum I could possibly hope to sustain before it becomes detrimental to the animal's health. And because of milk prices sort of stabilizing now, you know, I think a herd of 500 is worth it. I think there's money to be made. Not much. Don't think that suddenly I'm going to become, you know, a multi-millionaire off of milk. But there's enough money to be made to sustain a herd of that size without it costing me so much that, you know, I milk myself right out of business, basically. So once we get to 500, I'll sell cows as new calves come up to maturity. So I bought 2 new fields for grass. One of them actually has corn in it as a test plot for a piece of equipment that I want to try, that Chad and the guys from UK Agri Solutions have been sort of, you know, not on me, but, you know, I've suggested, hey, you might want to try this out. With your operation, it might be something good, so we'll see how that goes. The other reason I bought the fields was that I was talking to the major down the pub one day, and, you know, everybody's aware of the Crawford Browns, and they're just, you know, constant, I don't know. It's not even a power grab anymore, it's a land grab now. They just want to, I swear they want to buy every bit of, you know, green that is in the valley, you know, and they want to pluck a big, you know, fancy, expensive house down on it, right? So the major's had these fields that are, you know, been fallow for quite a while, and he's not using them. He doesn't need them. And so I was like, well, you know, maybe we can help each other out. I'll buy them, you know, at a decent price. I'll buy all the verges and the land around them as well for, you know, for a decent price. It'll help me because I'll be able to, you know, turn them in and get some grass on them. It'll help you, you know, because you'll have fields that you're not having to pay taxes on and everything anymore that you're not using. And it'll help the valley in the respect that it'll keep it out of the Crawford Browns' hands. Now, I realize that a lot of my sort of rationale with the Crawford Browns is based on an aggressive and hostile and confrontational sort of thing, right? And it may be unjustified, but I just get scared every time I see a for sale sign going up. Every time I see a digger or a tipper, you know, driving down the road, headed off to some piece of land somewhere to put a house on it. Because it's not that I don't want people to move into the valley. It's not that at all. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What scares me is that the people who are going to move into the valley to buy these, you know, very expensive houses, you know, £750,000 worth of house and up, are not going to want certain activities to happen around their houses, right? They're not going to want slurry spreading. They're not going to want muck spreading. They're not going to want noisy, dirty tractors trooping up and down their roads at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, especially during planting and harvest season, when it's a 24-hour deal around here, you know, for the most part. They're not going to want that. And they're going to come up with ways to make sure that we can't do that anymore. That's what makes me nervous. So I figured the more land we can keep out of the Crawford Browns' hands, the more land we can keep, you know, for the valley, for the farmers, and keep this valley what it has always been, which is an agricultural center. Now, if you want to move to Old Ridge, you want to put up a house somewhere, you know what I mean, and you don't mind some cows and some sheep and, you know, there's some goats kicking around, horses, you know, slurry, manure, loud tractors, you know, things happening at all hours of the day and night, then by all means, you know, come on down. It's a beautiful place to live, great place to raise kids, you know, but if you want to come to Old Ridge, you know, because you want to get out of London or you want to get out of the city, you know, and you want to live in the country, but you want to live in the country the way you want it, you know, clean and quiet and everything else. Well, there's other places in the country to do that. You know, Old Ridge has always been a working agricultural center, and it hopefully always will be. At least as long as I'm alive and as long as I'm here at Logan. And I know Mike is the same way, and the Major, and Cuthbert, although Cuthbert is sort of on the quiet end of agriculture now, being, you know, mostly into the orchard thing. So, you know, and Justin is pretty far away from the desirable end of the valley, so he doesn't really have to worry about it too much. Stop and unload this thing. But so that's what's been going on with Old Ridge, and that's kind of what's been going on with BP. You know, again, you know, you guys are the greatest motivation to do this. I miss hanging out with my friends. I miss playing games with my friends. I miss making videos. I miss, you know, all this stuff. And to everybody, like, especially to, you know, Cavalier Roy and to Farmer Dad and to everybody else who's bought me games, you know, thanks, guys. I have so many games, and that's probably the next topic we should talk about. What is the overall goal for the channel going forward again? You know, every time I have one of these sort of big resets, you know, big sort of breaks from active, you know, content creation, there's always something that changes, right? Now, I understand that the bulk of my subscribers, the bulk of, you know, my friends, the people who have come to the channel have come for farm sim or for simulation gaming in general, because that's my sort of standard, that's the fundamental thing in the channel. It's what I enjoy. I love simulation games, you know. I love to be able to simulate an activity that I can't do in real life, like this, for instance, you know, driving a truck, flying a plane, you know, whatever. So there'll always be farm sim on the channel. There'll always be simulation gaming on the channel. But I have so many other games now. So I think what I'm going to do, at least for the short term, and we'll see how it works out. We'll see how you guys like it, and, you know, and how I like it. Sort of ultimately, as selfish as that sounds, that's really the sort of measuring stick of anything, is if I like it or not. About playing a different game every day and cycling through them, which means that you'll probably get, you know, 2 farm sim episodes a week, and then 5 episodes of other games, you know. A lot of racing, a lot of, you know, like Interstellar Rift, and, you know, Astroneer, which I want to get back into, and Banished, and Life is Feudal, and Factorio, and next car game. God, there's so many games. You know, F1 2015, F1 2014. On the Road, which is a very cool early access trucking game. At some point, if I don't know what's going on with them, but at some point you might see some cattle and crops. You know, I wouldn't really hold your breath for that, but you might. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff, and I'd really like to know what you guys think about that. Whoops, wrong button. Don't you have all these buttons mapped, BP? I do. I'm just too lazy to figure out which button does what. So, all right, that's that field. So that's now the home fields. 11 north, 11 south, and 12. That just leaves field 1 now to bail, and we will be done with the bailing. And then it's picking them all up. My rationale behind wanting to make videos of all these games is that, A, people, you know, Roy and Farmer Dad and, you know, all my other friends, you know, you amazing people, have gone out of your way to buy me these games. Well, I want to play them, you know what I mean? And I enjoy all of them, you know what I mean? People know me well enough to know what games I would enjoy, and it's cool when people buy me games that are out of my comfort zone, as it were, you know, in the respect of, say, maybe Transport Fever or Banished or Planet Coaster. Games that aren't pure just, you know, moving something from point A to point B and doing something in between, right? You know, not just simulation games, not just driving games, building games, management games, games that require, you know, some strategy and some thought from me, right? Space games, things like that. It's stuff like that that, you know, gets me out of my comfort zone, exposes me to games that I wouldn't normally play. So, and I want to play them, you know. You guys bought them for me. I want to play them. I want to show them to you guys. You know, and again, like anything else I do, it's never going to be slick. It's never going to be good. I'm never going to be good at any of those games, you know what I mean? I'm barely good at Farm Sim, and I play that, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day. So I would expect to see, you know, don't ever watch my channel to learn how to do something, you know. Watch it because it's fun, right? So that's what's going to happen with all of that. You may notice the size of these windrows. BP, these are some massive windrows. Yeah, well, BP bought a new rake. Well, I bought a used rake. Big Krone, it's going to be hard to say with my mouth the way it is. Krone Swardro 19-meter rake, because it's just easier to bail a big windrow, especially with this setup. Because this baler will push through a lot of material, so I figured, why not? I only obviously used it on the big fields. The smaller fields, it's just too big. You'd end up with one windrow, and in Farm Sim 15, everybody knows that if you do that, you lose some of the volumes. But, you know, on field 1, on the home fields, on field 12, you know, the big fields, I can sort of get away with it. So. And it makes it easier. I don't have to turn as much. It's easier on the equipment and all that sort of stuff. Definitely need this straw. You know, obviously, I'm always going to have to buy straw. I'm never going to be able to produce enough straw to, you know, sustain the herd that I have without buying it in. It's just not going to happen. But if I get, you know, as much straw as I can make, I'm gonna. So, plus I like baling. I really enjoy it, and I like this setup. It's a little fiddly. I wish it worked better with Courseplay. It does work, but it doesn't unload. Even if you set it to unload on field automatically, it doesn't unload automatically, and I don't know how to fix that. So I just do it myself. It's no big deal. And that's the other reason why I wanted to rake these windrows up, you know, a little bigger and a little fewer of them, so that it'd be less of this, you know. But I really like this setup, so. You know, it's got a couple of niggles. I wish it would remember to go back into operating mode when you unload it. But again, I get it, because it works on the same basic script as the in-game, the big Acusen, you know, stacker. So, and that, when you unload that, that folds all up and everything, and you have to reset it. So it's fine, you know. I like the fact this puts it in stacks of 4, even though when I auto-load the stacks off the field with my bale forks, it only picks it up in 3, but it's not a big deal. I just think it's cool, and I like it. So, and it makes baling a lot easier. I don't have to drive all over the field. I just, you know, and pick up each individual bale. I can pick up stacks of 3 at a time, which is very nice. So that's basically what's been going on with BP and with the channel and with my, you know, my health and my motivation and everything else. I don't want to say that BP's back, you know, full time, because I don't know where my mouth's going to be from day to day. If it feels like this for the next however, I can live it. You know what I mean? Knock back 4 or 5 ibuprofen, squirt some cool oil in there, some of that antibiotic cream so I don't end up, you know, poisoning my blood with the infection or whatever. And I'm making that sound a lot worse than it probably is, but I could probably go back to making 5 videos, 6 videos a week, right? As far as the streams go, I want to stream again. I really do, because I miss it. You know, again, I miss hanging out with my friends. I miss playing games with my friends. I miss, you know, the general sort of, you know, goofiness that happens on the streams and everything. What I don't want to do is I don't want to start a stream at, you know, 2 o'clock, you know, my time, right? And then at 2:30 or 2:45 or 3 o'clock even, say, oh, my mouth is killing me and I can't talk anymore. And then, you know, cut off the stream. That's not fair, right? I'd like to be able to do my standard 2-hour streams. So I'm going to try this Saturday, you know, and we'll see how it goes with whatever game the Monkey Show guys, whatever members of the Monkey Show are around, whatever they want to play, you know, we'll do some streaming over on Twitch. And we'll see how it goes. But just a heads up, if my mouth gets bad and I need to truncate the stream, you know, I need to. And, you know, because I don't want to screw myself up so bad that I lose the ability to talk at all or open my mouth at all. It's so bad some days that I can't even put food in my mouth. You know, I went 3 days without eating. Good thing about that is I've lost some weight. You know, bad thing is I can't eat and I'm hungry. So, you know, it's all give and take with this deal. And I want to get better to the point where I can make videos all the time again, you know, because you guys definitely deserve that, you know what I mean? And I miss doing it. You want to load? Thank you. Probably finish this field. We'll call this a video, you know. I would expect to see a couple more videos over the next couple days, because as long as my mouth feels good, I might as well make the videos. You know, I'm playing the games anyway to keep my my mind off the pain as much as possible. I will tell you one thing that's very good for that. Not so much this, because obviously I do so much of this, farm sim, that it doesn't require a ton of focus for me. So there are times when my mind will drift and it'll start to focus on the pain again. But one thing that's very, very good for taking your mind off pain is hauling stuff in American Truck Simulator with the heavy haul DLC. I'll tell you what, thanks to my friend David, you know, my farmer dad, my very good friend, who picked that up for me, you know, and has really helped on the really painful days, because unlike the Euro truck version of heavy haul, obviously in America, we don't have steerable axles, right, on these trucks or on these trailers. And trying to wind these things through cities and through some of the smaller towns and up some of the steep, narrow roads, especially in Northern California and up, you know, southern Arizona, you know, the central parts of Nevada and all that. Man, the focus that it requires to not drift out of your lane, not take anybody out, not get hung up on a guardrail, you know, it really helps take your mind off the pain. So if you guys, you know, are having a bad day maybe, or having pain, or, you know, whatever, go do some heavy haul stuff in American Truck Simulator. You'll be too focused on that to worry about anything else. So you're probably going to see a video of that pretty soon too, because that's just as stressful as it can be sometimes. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah, this field is definitely cranking up the bales. The big windrows, you know, you would expect it to. That's good. I need them all. I need every bale I can get, you know. Not that I mind buying them from Chad by any means, but, you know, if I could save a couple $1,000 every couple weeks, then that's good. You know, obviously I'm not getting hundreds of bales off each field. But, you know, I'm getting enough, I think, to get me through a couple of weeks, probably. Excuse me. Is there anything else that I needed to talk about? Well, I don't know. Do I ever need to talk about anything? Not so much. I do a lot of waffling about, right? But I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is, and I haven't heard from him since he left a message on the Discord saying that the baby was on the way, but Jasper, my friend Jasper, should be a father by now. Hopefully everything went well. I don't know. I need to check and find out and get in touch with him. And congratulations, my friend, and welcome to the wonderful, weird, chaotic, stressful, annoying, but mostly wonderful world of being a parent. There's nothing in the world like it. You know, nothing will focus your mind and your attention and your life like being a parent. When all of a sudden you look down and you're like, oh, this little pissy, shitty, screamy, adorable thing is totally dependent on me. What do I do? Don't worry, Jasper, I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Kids don't come with instruction manuals, you know what I mean? And you will figure it out, and I'm sure you and your partner will be great parents. And hopefully you will have another little farm simmer, racer, whatever, gamer in the world. So I want to welcome the newest little member of the Monkey Show to the planet. And hello, little one. And I can't wait to meet you. See, BP's BP's not too much of a tough guy, right? Kids, how do you not love him? You know what I mean? How do you not? I know I love mine. So, speaking of kids, Brittany, my daughter Brittany, my oldest daughter, who I love dearly. There's going to be a Planet Coaster video coming up from the new park, Fantasy Island, which is just a cool park. I love it already. It's all piratey and tropical. There's going to be water slides, even though they don't work, in the game, but they're still cool to make. It's all pirate bits, and just sort of bolted together to make cool things, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll do a video on what I've done so far on that before long too. So don't worry, my daughter, you're going to see that pretty soon too. Oh, BP, are you really going to do the thing that you do where you go around and chase every stalk of straw? Yes, you are. You know why I'm going to do that? Because I need the straw, that's why. Don't want to waste it. Don't want to leave too much of it on the field. So much groundwork to do now. I've got, obviously, the sugar beets that need to be sprayed. And then I've got all this groundwork to do. So my new piece of equipment will help out with that. My two new pieces of equipment, actually. I bought a field container for slurry because I think it's time we have one. So we don't have to run back and forth quite so much to the dairy. And I bought a cultivator injector for my slurry spreader that I have now. Because I should have had one of those a while back. I got so much slurry, I might as well use it. And on the times like this, when it's just transitioning from one crop to another in the same season and I don't want to plow all these fields again, I think that's going to be the way to go. So you'll be seeing that at some point as well. I think we'll call that right there. I think that's done. I think that's enough chasing straw. How many stacks we get off this? 3? 3 stacks? Is that? Yep, 3. So there's 8 in a stack. 8 times 3 is 24. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, you know what? I should probably actually unload this bale. Huh? But I don't remember what the button is. What's the button? Oh, unload bale. Excellent. And now we can just unload this. It'll be an odd stack, but that's all right. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. BP is here. I don't want to say back, just in case, my mouth fires up for a week and I can't talk and I can't make a video. But I'm here. As I always say, none of this happens without you. Without you guys, I don't do any of this. You know what I mean? Biggest motivation in the world coming back, looking over at this amazing computer. You guys helped me build. You guys built it. You know what I mean? I may have physically put it together, but you guys came up with all the money and and everything else. And that's the biggest motivation in the world for me. Without you, there's no BPG, there's no Monkey Show, there's no Bipolar Profit, there's none of that. And I mean it, and I say it all the time, but I absolutely mean it, guys. It means everything to me. And I miss you guys. I miss hanging out with my friends. I miss talking to you guys. I miss reading the comments. I miss making videos. So I'm going to do my best, no matter how much it hurts, to try to do this. Again, back to the best of my ability, back to having fun, back to making videos on a regular basis. So make sure you stay tuned, and thank you so very, very much. And as always, this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.